we bought the pipes, and we spent the next week building out potato guns. Super fun. And then the next Monday I was back in school, and I remember sitting there thinking about my business, and all of a sudden I had the epiphany, like the light bulb moment, where I was like, I wonder if anyone else besides me was searching for potato guns this week. I don't know. And I searched, and there were about 18,000 people a month searching for potato gun plans and spud guns, and I was like, that's it, that's gonna be my business. I'm gonna potato gun expert. First, it was just a tool for me. Like, that was really the initial goal of ClickFunnels. Like, and then after I started using it and I was having success, I was like, we have to make this a tool for everyone. Like, it'll free all entrepreneurs. My initial goal is not to make you $1 billion. My initial goal is to get you to break even. Now you have a tool that will consistently all day long give you free customers. I want you to do it now while you're in the moment, while you remember why it's important, why you saw me do it, so you don't forget and we can get it. And worst case, like, this will be the worst one you ever do. The next one you do will be better. It's not about the people watching you. It's about you guys, about us learning our voice. That's the most important thing. Someone the other day was upset about something I did. They're like, well, my dad always taught me to play nice. I was like, oh, well, my dad taught me to win. My goal for the next 3 years, if I can give you guys some tools and some things that'll help you to change more people's lives in your world, then for me, that's a huge win. What is that thing for your business? Like, what's the one huge domino that if you can knock that thing down, everything else becomes obsolete? You have to lead them to the answer, but you can't give it to them. They have to come up with the idea themselves. You plant the idea in their minds with a story, and if they come up with the answer, then they sold themselves.
He's a marketing genius. That's his brilliance.
Russell rhymes with funnel.
How to market, how to promote, and even how to sell.
He's here to help entrepreneurs create amazing lives.
And on a grand scale.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Super excited to be hanging out with you guys today to do our next speaker reveal. I just saw the message get text to everybody, and it says the most intense and radical moments every year at Funnel Hacking Live were due to this one person. I get complaints every year, even when he chooses not to swear. His passion is obvious and his presence unavoidable. Let me know, who do you think it is? So that was the text you guys all just got from my team. I'm curious, who do you guys think our next speaker invite is? I'm looking at the comments. This is probably the most obvious guess. Everyone's like, Garrett. Is it Garrett? Come on, it's got to be Garrett J. White. So the answer is, yes, it is. What's up? Let's pull Garrett up. Garrett, how are you doing, man?
I am so excited about the fact that I am the most acclaimed and offensive speaker of all time. No matter what I do, I talk about Jesus, I'm offensive. I say prayers, I'm offensive. I cuss and break records in cussing, I'm offensive. That's okay. It's my middle name. I'm excited to be here and excited to be here for 9.5, technically 10, ready to roll again.
Isn't that crazy? It's 9. Like, we've been doing this for a decade. It's insane. Wow. In fact, like you guys know, so the very first time I met Garrett, actually, we just launched ClickFunnels. We're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old. And someone from my support team messaged me, was like, dude, there's this guy named Garrett. You should check out his funnel. And he sent me this funnel. And like, the video on the landing page is you. I think you're on Wall Street or something. And you're moving back and forth. And it's like this intense thing. And so I got sucked into that. I opted in. And I watched this like hour-long documentary. And I went through the entire process. And I was like, I have not experienced something like this before in a funnel in my life. And that's when I reached out to you. I was like, dude, that was unreal. Do you want to speak at Funnel Hacking Live? And then the first time we met was like 2 seconds before you got on stage, year number 1, to kick off this whole party, which is crazy. Bro, it's been a fun decade.
Amazing to watch. I think I was like top, maybe like 150 users of ClickFunnels. We've been on ClickFunnels the entire time, even with a lot of people making some silly decisions in the last couple of years. We've always been like committed to the cause, but the cause has always been bigger than just software. I think it's what a lot of people are missing right now across the board. There's such a push to tactics and tools, and you can know for sure in direct response marketing and in making money, the minute everybody starts getting very excited about tactics and tools, the game's going to pivot, and the only people that win are principle based. Mm-hmm. And we're watching it happen right now. Like, software is so accessible all over the place, ChatGPT, all these new tools coming out that everybody thinks are going to magically solve their problems, and inherently they solve some problems, but the minute that it easily becomes accessible to solve these easy problems, which really are easy, everyone can do it. It's now not worth anything, which is why you keep crushing. Why me and my wife can, we tell everyone every day. Anyone talks about marketing, who taught you and your wife marketing? And I said, Russell Brunson. There's a lot of the people who are there, but Russell brought us back to core principles, and that core principle of influence and persuasion and marketing is what built both our 8-figure brands and the life that we have today.
Yeah, I think that's what's fascinating thing is that everyone keeps thinking. I see this all the time, like, oh, well, this software does this fun feature and this one does, and like they're fighting about these stupid features. It's like you don't understand. Like the reality is the way you win this game is learning persuasion, how to speak, how to sell, how to move, how to like that is the game. The tool is just the delivery mechanism for it. I had someone the other day who was trying to get me to look at one of their funnels, and it was this insane complex, like the complexity was insane. They were trying to optimize for 8,000 million different things. Like how would you improve this? I was like, I would delete the entire thing. I create 4 pages and I learned how to tell stories. Like that's what you guys are missing. And they're like, but like we paid this guy all like, I know you guys are missing the point. Like, yeah. So I think
I want you all to just hear what he just said. This is why I love being around this man. I'm telling you right now, gold falls out this man's mouth and out his backside every time he starts talking. But most of you are so excited by watching that you forget to pull out your pans and start sifting for gold. He just said it. The game is about simplicity. As the world gets more complex, the people who are simple and keep it simple, which is how God works. God doesn't yell and scream. God speaks in simplicity, and there's an energy, a vibration of truth that moves in that space of simplicity. So if you just choose to keep using all this tech to make it complex, and there's some competitors who have stepped in, yeah, they offer 542,000 feature sets that are absolutely amazing for somebody that's running a billion-dollar company. But for you, you don't need it. The more complex you get whipped up, the less money you're going to make.
Yeah.
4 pages, one simple offer. It's all I've done for 10 years since we started studying Russell's content and he became one of our mentors.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So the biggest key thing that we got to focus on is we got to focus on getting people better at that part of the game. You know what I mean? And I think that's obviously Funnel Hacking Live. You have been outside of me. I think me and you, even Todd didn't speak at the first Funnel Hacking Live because like it didn't cross our minds that he's like, I'm the developer. Why would I talk? I don't know. But the only people who have spoken every Funnel Hacking Live in the past is me and you. And I think I think our messages are very like we keep coming back to the same core principles from day number 1 on with everybody. In fact, I still remember the very first. Again, I met you. We hugged. You stepped on stage 2 seconds later, and the first 3 words, 4 words that came out of your mouth from stage was "Stop effing lying." That was 3 words. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh no, what just happened?" But it was like coming back to that principle, just like everyone's in here and they're lying themselves. They're making up stories, like all kind of stuff, as opposed to like coming back to like the reality that they need to be successful in this business, in this game. Anyway, and that's been the message for a decade now, right? It's coming back to the core fundamentals.
Well, people don't get it. Like even inside of my world and the programs I run, I train thousands and thousands of women and thousands of men, all entrepreneurs, hair industry, real estate, software, et cetera. Doesn't matter. Like I have a methodology I teach called the Warrior's Way System, which is how I found ClickFunnels. Was looking for a way to take this message God had put in my heart. Like it was in my heart, it was in my soul. And I had to go through a process to pull it out. And it was really hard because it was to pull out this message is one thing, then to package it's another, then to position it's another, then to promote it's another, and then to profit is another. So there's all these things you have to do outside of this idea that God came down and told you, hey, listen, your message, your pain is your process, let's go. And you're thinking, I want to go. And then there's this mountain. And that's where ClickFunnels stepped in. ClickFunnels stepped in as a tool that allowed me to get rid of 9 or 10 or 12, up to 12 different software tools we're using to replace with one. But what I didn't realize I was getting that was better than software, will always be better than software, which is why I will never leave ClickFunnels, which is why I'm here for life, why we're back in Code API with my apps and his, why I'm doing this is because of the energy and the principles that allow you to succeed here that have nothing to do with tech. Tech supports the movement that they built here. I'm into the movement. You are here listening to this, and you're going to come to Funnel Hacking Live, not because of tech. You're going to come because of transformative change in your world that's going to cause you to use the tech to actually begin to do the things that God's called you to do. Like we live in a dark time right now. It's getting darker. It's going to get ugly this fall. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get darker. And I just want you to consider, if you're watching this and you've gotten whipped up into marketing, you're confused and stressed, don't worry. We're going to clear it out for you at Funnel Hacking Live. I'm going to talk in just a second about what I'm going to do. It's going to help make ClickFunnels make sense for you and how it's helped thousands of my students make it make sense too. But the piece I want you to catch is don't go off of what you're thinking, because the thing that you're being asked to do in these dark times is it matters. Like it matters. And I want you to consider, if you don't do it, not only does your life compress and contract, But there's a purpose and a prosperous life that you can't even imagine, that's on the other side of you choosing not just to accept the call, but choosing to work with teams and individuals like Russell, coming to events like Funnel Hacking Live so that you don't feel crazy and all alone. Mm-hmm. That's one of the biggest things. You might not even remember anything you hear the whole time, but you're going to get that one pivot inside your heart that's going to go, okay, I got to do this. I got to be part of Inner Circle. I got to pursue this. And here's the key caveat. I'm going to do it no matter what, for as long as it takes until I win. Yeah, you're one funnel away, which is usually preceded by a bunch of funnels and failures. And if you'll keep going, guess what? You win. You just will. That's the only reason Russell's won. Russell is brilliant, but he is more committed than he is brilliant. I am brilliant in what I do, but I am more committed than I am brilliant. Anyone you have ever seen who has pulled off anything of significance, whether in the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament, or whether looking at anyone you see online, social media right now, the only thing they have that many of you do not have is they have access to a courage and a commitment that does not stop. Where does that come from? It comes from coming to events like Funnel Hacking Live. This is how my life was changed. It's how my wife woke up. She was surrounded by thousands of people, virtually or in person, who believed. And something happens in that place. God has made the promise where 2 or more are gathered in my name. And you're like, this is a software conference, a marketing conference. It's not. You can find it real quick. Funnel Hacking Live is an awakening conference. It's either waking people back up to remember what they forgot and didn't do this last year, which is some of you. You got to come wake back up and remember what you were told a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that you haven't done. Or 2, you're coming for the very first time. You're like, geez, I hate my job. I hate what I'm doing in my business, or I can't get my message out, or I can't get my products out. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. There's even more software tools. There's like 92 duplicated copies of ClickFunnels doing their very best to cheat and steal everything they possibly can with VC money to try to interrupt the thing they will never be able to interrupt. Because you can do all the copy of tech you want, but you never can copy the soul of a fucking movement. That was my first fuck. I'll only say one. And that's what this is. I swear to God, sometimes I have to remind Russell and Todd, because it's hard in tech. I run a software company. It's hard. But there's a piece in this that's always been about soul. And many of you watching right now, you watch this on replay, you watch this live, you feel what I'm talking about. You don't even know who I am. It doesn't even matter who I am. Forget who I am. It doesn't matter. But this thing that you feel, it's not just me breathing fire into your camera. All I'm doing, like in Genesis verses 2 and 3, not saying I'm God, please listen with different ears. Don't go to a self-righteous little podium and then speak down, I can't listen to him anymore. He's compared himself to God. He is my Father. Simple. Verse 3, God said, let there be light. And there was light. Where did he say it? He set it into darkness. Verse 2. Verse 1, in the beginnings were the heavens and the earth. Verse 2, and the earth was without form, and darkness covered the deep. And the Spirit of God moved across the waters. Then God created a spark. He spoke truth. And that's what happens in Funnel Hacking Live. Many of you are sitting in this darkness. You don't know how to turn a light on. Your friends don't know how to turn a light on. And there's not enough software in the world you could buy that will turn this light on. And so it'll always be confusing. So, Russell, why do you keep doing this? Really? Because, listen, I need you to understand, doing big events is hard, virtual or otherwise. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Why do you keep doing this?
Yeah. It's funny because every year as we're leading up to the event, because it always comes down like, should we print order forms for next year's event? And I'm like, no, like it's too brutal. It's 8 months of pushing and driving and screaming to get the thing. And then every time leading up to, I'm like, no, we're not, this is it. We're finished. This is the last one. And then you experience the event and you see the transformation and you see like in people's eyes, the shift. And then you see the people who from last year who made the shift, who now are coming on stage, they're getting their 2 Comma Club award, and you see the results. And it's like, man, it's by far, like, for me, like the least profitable thing we do, the hardest work thing we do, and the thing that has the biggest transformation. And so we keep doing it. And that's the reason. So
this is why I come. Like, this is why I participate. Like, you're not going to see my face on all the stages across the country and all the personal development training events. You'll see all the big names. All the big names, you know who they are, the big social media influencers. I don't care. I don't care. I lead a very large movement, 26 men's movements underneath me. I run massive movements in the hair world. And people don't even know who I am. I don't care. I come to one place, I come to ClickFunnels, I speak Funnel Hacking Live. Why? Because God called me here. He's called me here for 10 years. And the thing I'm going to share with you this year is going to be different.
yeah.
You know, you've seen all kinds of, you've seen everything. You think you've seen everything. You've never seen anything with me, all of it with me ever. But this year, I get an opportunity to train from a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because what many of you have seen is you've seen my forward-facing marketing weapon, which is my energy and my intensity and my breakthrough trainer phase. You've seen all that. And that's not going to necessarily go away, but you're going to get to experience a different version. Because see, you're not sitting in my house with my $1 million clients. You're not sitting in my masterminds with my $250,000 to $500,000 mastermind clients, like per year. You're not sitting, and those are this is the energy of those events. It's very logical, it's very tactical, but also it's very emotional. I mix the two. And so I'm going to share with you this year something that I have not shared. I don't teach publicly. I don't teach people this outside of my top masterminds and my top one-on-one clients and their corporate teams. Because it's what allowed ClickFunnels to make sense to me so quickly and allowed me to take all the tactics of direct response marketing that you're going to learn and all the things about sales that you're going to learn and all of the content strategies you're going to learn at Funnel Hacking Live and all of the pieces are going to come together. They don't come together without an operating system. So if you look at all the content at any event you go to, you're always looking at apps. ClickFunnels as a software is a tech operating system. But you have to have a mental operating system that lines up with it so that the tech isn't complicated anymore. Mm-hmm. And ClickFunnels is not complicated once you learn what I'm going to share with you. ClickFunnels is easy. It's easy. It's not, I'm not even saying simple. It's easy. It's not that it's hard. It's just your brain doesn't have the right way of seeing it. And that's what we're going to work on. Specifically with something called the Strategic Seduction and the Savage Six, which are these two frames that I use to teach books I've written that I only release internal to my highest level students. And I'm going to give it all to you. Maybe it'll be my crescendo, and this will be my last year. I came to 9.5. And I'll be it. And they'll be like, I say, he's fired. He's out of here. He's too, he didn't breathe enough fire, and the building didn't burn down. He was too logical. He's out. But I want you to get this, because if you can get these tools in your hands and you can experientially learn them, and then we're going to give you, for those who get your ticket today, you're going to also get the backup, upgraded 3.0 version of the content and the entire coursework that we don't even sell this coursework. You can't get it unless you're in my highest level programs. I'm going to give it to you. Why? Because sitting right now at the sound of my voice, there are many of you, hundreds of you. God has called you to lead. And you're terrified. And you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. And you're lost and alone. And I know what that feels like. And that's what it felt like when Russell came into my world. I was so full of this thing, but I didn't know how to get it out of me. I didn't know how to get it to the people that I was supposed to lead. And so I'm going to come side by side with my man and everybody else that's there. I'm going to lay it down in as simple, paint by numbers as we possibly can. And by the time you're done with my hour and a half, 2 hours, I promise you, what I'm going to show you, it took me 12 years to figure out, $64 million to prove it, 65,000 clients who have proven it with me. And I'm going to give it to you. And then you can be next to prove it. And you put ClickFunnels right on top of that ideology. And then you follow everything else Russell's taught you in expert secrets, traffic secrets, and .com secrets. You complete the workbook and unlock the secrets. You get into the inner circle. And you get to be the person who then looks around at your world and says, yeah, it's not luck. I just did what God told me to do. And what God told me to do was get to Funnel Hacking Live. And I'm serious when I say this to you. We don't have time for you to wait. You think that many of you are still stuck in this idea that somehow this is just a business opportunity. Russell's never been about delivering biz ops. He's been about waking up kings and queens and movement makers to awaken the planet. And I'm one of the most savage that he's ever been part of waking up. And my impact is in the millions upon millions of people. So I'm gonna breathe fire. He's gonna bring the frames. And it's gonna be fun. And if this was too intense for you right now, well, I only said one curse in 25 minutes. I'm proud of myself.
That was pretty good. I'm impressed.
One curse. That's it. Proud of myself. I thought you were gonna say it. I was like, he's gonna say it. I was like, Russell was about to say the word on camera. Nope, but you didn't. So I'm proud of you, dude. I pulled Dan Sullivan off the edge, and he said it once in class. So, I was like, hey.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, dude, I'm so excited. You got me like refired up for what's going to be happening in I think we're 64 days away from Funnel Hacking Live, 9.5 international streaming to the world. And this event's going to be amazing. There's some really cool things we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks for everybody. And I'm just excited that you're here participating in being part of it. I know you even had other engagements, things you had planned that you moved around to be able to come and serve our people in our audience, and just super grateful for you doing that, man, because every time you come in, man, we joke a little bit, we get some controversy and stuff every single time, but every single time afterwards, people message me and they're like, man, that was what I came for. Like I needed that. That was the thing that woke me up and got me to actually take the steps I needed to do to be successful. So, your fire brings it every single time. And it's part of what we've done. And it's part of something that I think is so important, and just glad and grateful that you're coming again. And strategic seduction, man, I've been watching you do it, especially with your new events you've been rolling out. I've watched your event live 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 weeks, just kind of like watching and paying attention. And just, I'm excited to have you come and teach some of this tactical stuff as well that you never really had an opportunity to share as much of, which I think is going to be super powerful for our people to take, to just have something to model with, and seeing it from your lens and your point of view, which is exciting. So, oh man, it's gonna be amazing. I'm curious right now, those of you guys who already have your ticket to FHL in the comments, type in FHL if you already have your tickets. And if you don't yet, I think my team set this up. I think if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you type FHL 2024. It may send you something in Messenger, but it may not. I don't know. Try it out. FHL 2024. That may give you a link to go check it out and get you guys started. But if not, you can go get your tickets right now. I have Ben pull up this page. If you go to funnelhackinglive.com, that's where you can go get your tickets. If you already have your tickets, when you click on the members login link right there, Garrett's bonus he was talking about, the strategic seduction course, will be inside. I don't know if it is already, or we'll put it in there in the next little bit. But that's, you have a chance to like pre-watch that stuff and get those things before you even come to Funnel Hacking Live. And that way you'll be prepared for all the stuff that you're going to be laying down. And if you don't have your tickets yet, again, go to funnelhackinglive.com, click on the register now button, get your tickets, be part of this. Do not miss it. This is the first time and probably the only time we will ever stream this to people's homes. We did during the pandemic stuff. We did a hybrid where part of it was streamed in people's homes. This is the first time ever where the entire event is going to be virtual. And we're doing it for 2 reasons. One is because the next big event, Funnel Hacking Live 10, is going to be happening in February, so like 6 months from now, and we wanted to slide this one in. Number 2, if we're completely honest, I think October, November of this year is going to be very dark and very scary time for most people, and we wanted to have a shot, give everyone a shot of adrenaline and excitement and energy and things you need to help you get through that season coming up. And so I think that's another big reason why we wanted to do Funnel Hacking Live in September, to help you guys and prepare you guys. I know for me, I remember one of the hardest, darkest times of my life happened right after I went to Tony Robbins' Decade in a Day, or sorry, not Decade in a Day.
Day with Destiny?
Day with Destiny, yeah. And I remember thinking, like, had I not spent 5 days of Date with Destiny, because Date with Destiny happened and it was like 6 weeks later, my company collapsed. I had to fire 100 employees, like everything, my whole life fell apart. And if it wasn't for that, like experiencing Tony prior to like leading into that, I wouldn't have been able to handle. I think the weight would have crushed me. I think in my mind, that's the big reason why we're doing Funnel Hacking Live this year is to prepare people, because again, I think the last quarter of this year is going to be insane, and I don't know what's going to happen.
It's
but I
going
got to
to
prepare myself.
It's going to be spicy, period. And here's the last thought I'll give you. It's the same thing I beat the drum on at Wake Up Warrior. All of my trainers, 250 of them, with all their movements, were beating the drum. In the hair industry, we're beating the drum. It's not if darkness is coming, it's already here. It's not if it's going to be spicier than we've ever known it this fall. It will. The only question will be, are you going to be engulfed by the tsunami that's coming, or will you rise above it and ride it? Because the leadership game in this world, as we know it, over the coming months is going to flip upside down. And you're going to watch God raise up a new generation of leaders across the board. Many of you are called to be those people. Coming to Funnel Hacking Live is the catapult you will need to pull this off. Whether you are in the US or not, what goes on in this country sends ripples across the globe. And what's about to happen in our elections and what's happening here in this country is going to no longer allow people to sit on the fence. And in some ways, this is very good, because that's been the problem for too long. Many of you have been sitting on the fence with your callings. You've been sitting on the fence with what God has been nudging you to do. And this is going to be your launch event. Launch into the calling, launch into the future, and launch into a place where many will be panicked and you'll be in power. And that's the only difference. You can be in the same place where people are panicking and be in complete and absolute power. So I'm honored to come deliver fire and frameworks and process to support in helping weaponize you heading into this fall and into next year. And here to support my man, Russell, one of my mentors, one of my good friends, somebody who I look to for guidance in the game of direct response marketing and just the psychology of influence and persuasion. His books sit at the backbone of the curriculum of Wake Up Warrior and all of our movements and sub-companies in it. All of our people study it. It is the only curriculum we study in marketing. And ClickFunnels is the only software tool we will ever use when it comes to funnels, membership sites, and all the rest we're doing in collaboration with Warrior Apps. So Russell, thanks for letting me be here today and being part of this, and excited to be part of this in September.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And it's going to be awesome. So 65 days away, you guys get your tickets. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate you. To end this live off, we're going to queue up a quick video. I'll show you guys exactly what's happening this year's Funnel Hacking Live. And when it's done, it's time to open a new browser window and go to funnelhackinglive.com and get your tickets. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate you. Thank you guys all for hanging out today. We'll see you guys in a couple months. Thanks, everybody.
In less than a decade, Funnel Hacking Live went from 600 attendees to over 5,000. We went from a cheap ballroom with a pinup sign to a full-blown rock concert. Funnels went from being like the secret underground strategy to becoming the industry standard. It's been so challenging and rewarding and transformational and
inspiring, mind-blowing, epic. Funnel Hacking Live is wild.
The Super Bowl of marketing events.
An experience.
It's electrifying.
Freedom. Magic.
Is lit.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Will change your life.
And now Funnel Hacking Live is coming to your home. For 9 years, Funnel Hacking Live has been an in-person event, which means if you weren't able to get flights and hotels and find a babysitter, you probably felt a little bit of FOMO. And we heard you. You are seen. We got so many messages from people who wanted us to go to Europe and to Asia and Australia and Antarctica. And I don't even know if that last one is even possible. But before we take it on the road, we want to bring FHL to everyone. So for the first time ever, we're going virtual, but not like this, not on Zoom. We're going virtual like this, in this huge 25,000 square foot stadium, wrapped in 360 degrees of Zoom walls, so we can see your beautiful faces, streaming in 4K, with the audio so crystal clear you can literally hear a pin drop. Hit it, Kenny. So no matter if you're in the Outback, if you're in your bed, or if you're in space, you're gonna have front row seats to world-class speakers teaching the most cutting-edge marketing strategies and networking with other like-minded entrepreneurs. This time, we're doing things differently. As you know, Funnel Hacking Live always has a framework, and this year's framework is all about the gap between where you are today and where you wanna go. So day number one is all about going from 0 to 6 figures a year. You're gonna learn how to take your idea and get it online, how to build a funnel, how to write copy, and how to drive traffic with high-converting ads. Day number two then is all about going from 6 figures to 7 to win a 2 Combo Cup award. This is all about growing and scaling and starting to build your team. Day number 3 then, from going to 7 figures to 8 figures, this is where you start growing your funnels, right? Different funnels in your value ladder, executing, implementing the linchpin into your business, and a whole bunch more things so you can actually grow and scale. And then day number 4, this is where we're going from 8 figures a year to 9. This is about becoming the category king, claiming your throne so you can be the biggest business inside your market in your industry. Now, it doesn't matter what level you're at today, there's gonna be something specifically at Funnel Hacking Live for you this year, which is so exciting. Unless, of course, you're at 10 figures a year. If that's the case, then you don't need to come to Funnel Hacking Live. I actually need to come to your event. So please, put on an event, I will get a ticket, and I'll be front row. So you don't speak much English?
No se preocupe, todo el evento se traducirá en vivo mientras se desarrolla el evento.
Oh, and to really sweeten the deal, for a limited time, when you get your tickets to Funnel Hacking Live International, you can also get an insane discount at Funnel Hacking Live 10 at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, which is the largest venue and the craziest lineup. Seriously, it is gonna be insane. In fact, Miles' jobs literally depends on it. Now, you're worried you can't get a babysitter? Don't stress out. Bring your kids to the actual event. My guess is that most of them will actually become better funnel builders than you. What about if you have a court hearing or jury duty? Well, you probably shouldn't miss that. So don't wait, get your tickets right now. And I know you got a million things going on in your life. Everybody's busy, but I promise you, if you will give us 4 days, just 4 short days, where you show up and you participate full out every single day, I promise you, we will radically transform your business. We'll probably even change your life. So if that's interesting to you, again, this event's happening September 4th through the 7th, directly into your home, your office, for you to change your life. Click the link down below and get your tickets to Funnel Hacking Live International today.